If you want to know how the new talisman system works, you are in the right place. I spent hours hunting and farming glowing stones and appraising a lot of talismans, so ultimately I can share how you can benefit from this new system along with few tips and basics that will save you a lot of time and guesswork. Talismans can be obtained by appraising a new item which is called glowing stones. You can get these glowing stones by fighting 9-starred monsters in the game, which is currently the highest tier of monsters, so expect that they will pose a challenge in general. So far, the following monsters that are currently available on its 9-stars forms are Utduna, Nuudra, Jindahad, Gore, Arkveld, Mizutsune, Lagayakrus, and lastly, Seregios. As per testing, we noticed stronger damage from these monsters in general, where these monsters can almost one-shot us, especially Seregios. So if you're looking for an added difficulty or a much more challenging experience, I can pretty much say that these monsters can provide serviceable fights for you, rewarding you with glowing stones for your efforts. I do have two methods when farming glowing stones, and the first and the most secure way of hunting these stones is by refreshing your world via resting in your camp and saving the 9-star monsters that will pop in your world. In a step-by-step procedure, the first step is resting in your camp, which will cost 500 guild points. This is assuming that no 9-star monsters appeared in your world. It is time to scan the world again, and once you find a 9-star monster roaming in your world, save them as investigations. Save as many as you can so you can complete them in bulk later on. But if you haven't found any 9-star monsters, just repeat step 1 and keep resting in your camp over and over. However, it is unlikely for you to not find any 9-star monsters after several resets, since Capcom officially stated that they increased the spawn rates of 9-star monsters, and we personally observed this. After saving a lot of 9-star monster missions, you can now go ahead and complete them in solo or play in a group to keep earning glowing stones. Just like in other currency farming, nothing beats the speed of joining SOS missions, and this is the staple way ever since the game started. However, the main caveat is that you need to be patient and super fast when joining these SOS missions, since they are pretty much in high demand. A lot of people want to join in and farm glowing stones as well, just like you. So you will be encountering a lot of connection errors since instances are always going to be full. In a step-by-step procedure, the first step is talking to Alma, accessing SOS missions, and keeping on refreshing it until you find 9-star missions. Just like in other currency farming, you will want to participate in double monster 9-star missions to get the most glowing stones possible. You can see here that the missions on the screen right now provides a whopping 17 glowing stones, and that's a lot, in exchange for fighting 2 difficult monsters. But it wouldn't hurt you to join the other 9-star missions available, just in case you are getting bored refreshing the menu. Repeat this process over and over and you will gain a lot of talismans in the process. In both methods, once you get glowing stones after completing your missions, the system will automatically appraise the glowing stones for you, giving you random talismans in the process. If you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and help us build our gaming community, and I appreciate your support. We all know that the talisman system is designed for us to grind for a long time, and we will be getting a lot of trash talismans, which is expected until we get the good ones to improve our builds. I will be teaching you how to determine which talismans are the good ones later on, but for now, you need to know how to recycle the bad ones first. For you to recycle talismans, head to Suja Peaks and talk to the old lady who holds the melding pot feature. Access the melding pot, then select Talisman Melding. From here, you can select your trash talismans, and each of them provides different points when used in melding. And of course, the higher the rarity, the more points it provides. Melding works the same compared to decoration melding, where you can select multiple talismans at once and meld them all at once. One new talisman is worth 10 points, and melding a rarity 5 talisman will give you a point. Rarity 6 are worth 3 points, Rarity 7 are worth 6 points, and lastly, Rarity 8 gives you 10 points. So after melding all of your trash talismans, of course, it will give you random talismans in exchange, giving you more chances to get more good ones for your builds. But how to know which talismans are good or not? I hear you asking, my dear viewer. We already know that talismans comes in 4 rarities. First is Rarity 5, and then Rarity 6, 7, and then 8, which is the highest. So by just basing on rarity alone, you will think that, hey, I can just concentrate on Rarity 8 talismans since it is the best and current best talismans, right? Just like in Artian weapons. I will tell you right now, stop right there, it is simply not the case. What if I told you that you will be getting a little value from Rarity 8 Talismans as far as our observation tells us right now? Since the update was released, we'd been farming non-stop for hours with no breaks in between. And all of us gathered almost 60 to 80 plus worth of Rarity 8 Talismans, combining all of our spoils. Then we carefully checked every Rarity 8 Talisman, and most of them provide not so good skills along with triple tier 1 slots. If you're thinking of getting level 2 agitators or weakness exploit easily, or other meta skills with additional skills, you will simply be disappointed. Most patterns of skills that we usually get across 4 accounts are just level 3 elemental attacks, or just level 1 metal skills, or other trash skills which you will obviously not use if you are following the meta. Simply put, the 4 of us who tested and checked these 8-star talismans were greatly disappointed. Not only are these 8-star talismans are super rare, but the skills they provide are simply not worth it for now. I'm also showing some of the Rarity 8 talismans on the screen right now, and you should be the judge if they are worth it or not. Let me be clear on this one, these are just first impressions of us, 4 individuals who compared our findings so far, and as time goes by, this may change in the future. It is highly unlikely that we are just extremely unlucky, or perhaps the good ones are just extremely rare. If you have a lot of Rarity 8 talismans on the other hand, let us know in the comments what your findings have been so far. We are also finding fewer Rarity 7 talismans that can be used in meta builds. So with that being said, which one you should be aiming for? We are finding Rarity 5 and 6 talismans to provide value right out of the gate, especially Rarity 5 talismans. Our current meta builds usually revolves around staple upgradable talismans, like for example the Challenger Charm, the Exploiter Charm, the Counter-Strike Charm or the Counter Charm, and more. So it is only wise to compare the new talismans to the staple ones since you don't have any reason to replace your upgradable talismans. To know exactly what to get, simply compare your current meta talismans to your new RNG talisman. Like for example, if I want to have a better Counter Charm talisman, what I will look for are talismans that can exceed my upgradable Counter Charm. For you to not get confused, here are few examples of better counter charms, at least in our opinion, compared to our base meta counter charm. Like for example here, I can have an additional speed sharpening and get level 3 counter strike by simply slotting in another counter strike jewel on its jewel slot. Or one of my favorites so far is this talisman can give me an additional critical eye level 1 while getting level 3 counter strike with the jewel slots filled in. Or I can have level 2 Charge Master and have level 3 Counter Strike with free tier 1 slot for any tier 1 skill that I want to slot in. Let's take our beloved Agitator Charm here. So a direct talisman upgrade would look like these. A Rarity 5 talisman with a tier 3 slot will give you level 2 Agitator while it gives you a bonus paralysis attack level 1. This will provide a little value, I know, but for paralysis artillery weapons, a bonus is a bonus. The same idea applies to the next one. Another Rarity 5 talisman with a tier 3 slot. By using this talisman, you can get a level 2 agitator just like in our old one, but it gives you blast attack on top of it. The same thing applies to weakness exploit charm. And you can see the additional skills that you can get from here compared to our usual exploiter charm too. Now judging in what I'm showing you so far, I'm not saying that Rarity 7 and 8 talismans are complete trash, but we simply couldn't find the value for now. But of course, Rarity 7 and 8s have their uses, and we can totally see that it can be used in unconventional setups or builds due to their mixed skills. As mentioned, don't expect to see broken combinations such as level 3 weakness exploits or agitator that easy. It seems that Capcom intended this design to make it balance. As mentioned previously, our impressions of it may change in the future. But for now, if you really want to improve your meta builds, make sure to keep an eye on Rarity 5 and 6 talismans. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the latest talisman system. Have you gotten any good ones so far? Or how good your Rarity 8 talismans so far? Are they trash, good, or what? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.